BTS's name goes viral amid military service, the truth behind Jungkook's alleged statement and the misinformation that shook the world. In recent weeks, the name of Kim Taehyung, more widely known as V of BTS, has unexpectedly surged to the forefront of discussions across South Korean media and the global community, even though he remains in the middle of his mandatory military service. This surge in attention has puzzled many, considering Taehyung has largely remained out of the public eye since his enlistment. The sudden influx of speculation and concern was ignited by what was claimed to be an emotional, unplanned live broadcast from fellow BTS member Jungkook, during which he allegedly made a cryptic and deeply concerning statement, "I can't stay silent anymore. You all need to know." This supposed broadcast, described as having occurred on HYB's internal platform, a channel typically reserved for direct yet scheduled communication between artists and fans, reportedly set off a social media firestorm. Fans, known collectively as ARMY, were swept into a whirlwind of anxiety and uncertainty. They scrambled for answers as theories, screen captures, and fan translations spread like wildfire. According to the viral narrative, this wasn't just a casual comment from Jungkook. It was a bombshell, a public cry from someone close to the situation, hinting at something deeply troubling going on with Taehyung. Jungkook, known for being exceptionally measured and thoughtful in how he addresses sensitive topics, especially when it involves his fellow BTS members, was depicted in this rumored stream as emotionally overwhelmed and visibly shaken. An alleged insider even claimed that his statement wasn't spontaneous but rather a deliberate and calculated decision to break through institutional silence. According to this narrative, Jungkook had received distressing information from a source connected to the military base where Taehyung is reportedly stationed. The moment that kicked off this storm, if it indeed occurred, was powerful enough to send ripples throughout both fan communities and major newsrooms. According to widespread online claims, Jungkook did not mention any names directly, but his words and demeanor allegedly indicated grave concern. "He's too strong to complain, but I know Taehyung is not okay." These words were quoted and requoted across fan pages, Twitter threads, YouTube reaction videos, and even some small media outlets that failed to fact-check before publishing. Naturally, fans began to examine the timeline more closely. It had not gone unnoticed that for several weeks, there had been no new photos, videos, or public updates regarding Taehyung. This was highly unusual. Even while enlisted, most BTS members occasionally appeared in official updates, whether through military ceremonies, group photos, or supportive messages shared by HYBE. Taehyung's conspicuous absence fueled fears that perhaps the situation was indeed dire. Soon after, rumors began circulating within Korean online forums suggesting that Taehyung had experienced a serious decline in health, possibly related to overexertion during intensive training. One post that gained significant traction alleged that a soldier with the initial K had been hospitalized for acute digestive issues and low blood pressure, and that his condition required repeated visits to the military clinic. Although no specific name was given, many fans jumped to the conclusion that this referred to Kim Taehyung. As speculation escalated, media outlets rushed to find more evidence. A few managed to gather vague comments from anonymous military insiders, some of whom hinted that soldiers from Taehyung's unit had indeed been visiting the clinic more frequently. Former servicemen from the same elite division even stated that such medical patterns typically indicate extreme physical stress or recurring minor injuries. Others, however, warned against drawing conclusions from fragmented observations. The viral narrative, bolstered by what fans believed to be Jungkook's emotionally charged broadcast, quickly evolved into something larger. The question was no longer limited to "Is Taehyung okay?" It now encompassed broader themes. Was there a deliberate attempt by HYB or the South Korean military to withhold crucial information? Was there a systemic failure in how public figures are protected and cared for during military service? Why had the agency remained silent for so long, and what did that silence signify? As pressure mounted, HYB released a brief public statement. It stated that Taehyung was in stable condition and continues to fulfill his duties in accordance with standard procedures. However, rather than calming fans, this statement triggered even more frustration. Critics argued that it was vague, lacked transparency, and seemed designed to downplay the situation rather than provide clarity. Meanwhile, the international media took notice. Renowned outlets like Reuters and NME began covering the story, noting that the secrecy surrounding Taehyung's condition, if there truly was one, could create diplomatic complications. As one of the most globally recognized South Korean artists, Taehyung's influence extends far beyond national borders. Any perception that his well-being was being overlooked or concealed could damage not only public trust in entertainment agencies but also the image of the South Korean military itself. Academic voices joined the discussion. Professors at Seoul National University introduced the situation as a case study in communication ethics and media transparency. Dr. Min Hyo-jong, a respected figure in the Department of Communication, described the unfolding story as a textbook example of the tension between institutional privacy, public accountability, and emotional truth in the age of celebrity culture. She emphasized the immense power fandoms now wield and how their demands can influence public discourse, governmental policy, and media behavior. The narrative even entered the political arena. A lawmaker from South Korea's Democratic Party announced intentions to explore legislative measures aimed at enhancing psychological protections for celebrities during mandatory military service. Proposals included access to mental health professionals, the right to family or agency visits in emergencies, and more flexible privacy policies when dealing with public figures who carry enormous national and international visibility. Still, not everyone accepted the viral version of events at face value. Some media outlets and skeptics within the fandom began questioning the authenticity of Jungkook's alleged broadcast. Was there really a live stream where he broke down in tears? Did he actually utter those now famous words? As days passed, users began combing through HYB's official platforms, and no verifiable record of such a stream could be found. No video clips. No saved replays. No transcripts on Weverse or elsewhere. Eventually, deeper investigations confirmed what many had begun to suspect: the broadcast never happened. Experts in media literacy and digital disinformation weighed in. Dr. Han Ji-seon, a media studies professor at Korea University, described the entire situation as a brilliant but dangerous example of emotional misinformation. She explained how narratives that appear emotionally authentic and claim to come from inside sources are among the most potent forms of disinformation. They exploit the emotional bonds fans have with their idols, making the fabricated story feel plausible, even urgent, regardless.